Resume. Hello, everyone. This is Brenda Miller. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in New Jersey, and I am going, we're doing a Zoom class tonight with Paper Pumpkin, and we are doing the August kit. We always wait until the first week of the following month to do it to make sure that everybody gets their kit. And this kit is called Meaningful Flowers. So if you'd like to, you can follow along and make the cards. And at the end, I have a little slideshow of cards that I have found that other people have made. And a lot of people made a lot of fun cards this month. So it was really fun looking for it. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll welcome Sheila. Hi, Sheila. Welcome. We have a few people here for class. And I'm going to replace my spotlight. And here we have my nice, see what that was from my live yesterday, right? Did anybody see that?
Yep.
I know, all of you did. You all got the email because I'm going to see you all tomorrow or the next day for class. So anyway, here's our paper pumpkin for this month. Yay. All right, so let's take out our kit. And it, like I said, it is unbelievably simple. Totally simple. And again, I think that's the reason they gave us an extra stamp set. So let's take a look. So we got 2 stamp sets, right, in our kit. So we have the one that we're going to use, and we're only using 2 of the sentiments. And then we have this pretty flower. So I guess is that a water lily? Where are my people?
Should be.
Yeah, so that's what that looks like, right? That's a water lily.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty. So anyways, that's a nice addition to our flower collection, as are these other ones, which is great. So we have our stamp set, and we have our little block. Did somebody say something? I'm sorry. No? Okay. So we have Pretty Peacock, which is very exciting because that's a new color. So a new returning color, right? So let's, we have that. And we have a packet that has some little extras, right? We have some twine. Obviously, I had to open mine in order to be able to make my samples. And we have dimensionals. Those are actually my dimensionals that I was using. And some little, you know how I love these. They're like water droplets. So clear is even better than having a color. So then we have our dimensionals too. So that's what's in our packet. Oh, and we also have, I thought this was very interesting. Look how thin this is. This is the tear and tape, but it's a different size. Usually it's about a 1/4 inch, and this looks like about 1/8 of an inch. So that's kind of exciting to add to your collection. And I was surprised that that's what they used for this kit, but you know, it works. It's all good. So these are the cards that we're going to make. This is what they look like. This one opens fun, and this one, I actually did mine wrong, so we're going to correct it. And see, this is why you come to class, so that you learn the tricks that you would not necessarily know. But look what they put on the back of each card. So we have the lotus flower. So I guess that's what that one is. Not a water lily, a lotus flower. I've known that. And a forget-me-not flower. Can everybody put themselves on mute, please? Because I get a feedback somehow. And there we go. Perfect. Thank you. And don't let that stop you from chiming in and commenting. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but all right. So let's go ahead and separate our stuff into piles. And this kit makes 4 of 2 designs, so 8 cards total. So the first is a nice already decorated piece with the lotus flower on it. So that's going to be our card number 2. So take out one of those. And then this is the card base for that card. And notice that it opens the long way, which is always nice. I never remember to do that myself, and I always wish I would. So anyway, that's goes with card number 2. And next we have, look at the beautiful envelopes. Look at the insides. They match the cards. So I just, you know how I love that. And when you're making your alternates, if you want to, this is, oh, I'm not showing this right. But the inside, look, it goes all the way down and has the coordinating color. So this would have the peacock on the inside. So you can do a lot with these envelopes if you don't want to just use them for the envelopes or the cards. So Anyway, so we're going to just put all of those aside. Next, we have the let's see, this is just a die cut card base. And if you flip it over, you see how that's going to work. So that'll be folded in half. So that's card number 1. That's the card base for card number 1. So they did all the fancy footwork for us, so which is so nice. It's always a little bit hard to do. And then we have our labels, and you got one extra, a banner, I should say. And this banner goes with card number 1. Okay. And then we have these pretty forget-me-nots, and we're just going to punch one out for card number 1. I gotta say, I'm not against punching things out. I've really become accustomed to it, and I really like that. All right, so here we have vellum, and this is colored vellum. And you'll see that it's colored on one side so that when you flip it over, it's muted. All right, so that goes with card number 2. And that little pointer is very important. So I'll show you that later. And then lastly, we have our lotus flowers. Let's use the correct term. And you notice they give us an extra one of these. I'm very happy about that. I guess they had extra room on the page, so they gave it to us. Gotta love it. And those are all the supplies, believe it or not. So we have our instructions, and that's what I'm going to be following along with. Although I did, like I said, come across a couple of pointers. So let's start with the pieces for card number 1. So as I mentioned, so only 3 pieces here. We're going to fold the front of the card, and you want to give it a nice crease with a bone folder or your fingernail, because all my bone folders are at stations because I'm all set up for class tomorrow. We have that, and then we have our well, let's do our stamping. I like to do that first. So let's go ahead and take out our banner. And this one uses the phrase, "Your friendship is unforgettable." And I like that. Obviously, it's for the forget-me-not flowers. That's why they're using them. So I'm going to use my big pretty in pink pad, pretty peacock pad. Oh boy, that's an old color. Oh my goodness. Completely wrong color family too. But pretty peacock. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to put that right in the center of the banner. And if it doesn't work out, you flip it over. And if it still doesn't work out, there's an extra one. So that's always good to know that you have that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that, and we'll give everybody a minute to get that done. And when it's done, just give me a thumbs up and I'll see you, because I can see all of you at the top of my screen today, which is always nice. So this kit, people had so many really beautiful alternative projects. They cut apart all of the pieces and they just put them back together in a different order and ended up with way more cards than the 8 that the kit comes with, which is always nice to see. So a lot of people, thanks Sheila, a lot of people do a lot of really fun things with these kits. I even have a scrapbook page. A lot of people do scrapbook pages, but I don't always love them, but this one I really liked. So I will share that with you later. So, yeah, so that's about all the chatter I've got for this moment. But sometimes it's hard to chatter. So Beth, how did you do? Are you good? She's still working. I think 1 minute. She says 1 minute. Just don't want to lose anybody. You know how that is. So if you're watching this on replay, feel free to fast forward. I get it. I am not offended. Nobody needs to listen to me chatter all the time. All right, so we're good? Okay, let's go ahead, and now we're going to cut 8 inches, and that's probably even a lot, but at 8 inches of our twine. Some scissors, and I use the ruler on the side of the instructions, which I love that they include, because, you know, I love to take my kits when I go places and travel, and who has a ruler when you're, you know, traveling? So it's nice that they include that for us. And once you have that, we may as well go ahead. This is, always the hardest part, but we're going to tie a bow, a nice loose bow. And I just kind of get 2 equal ends, and I never end up with equal ends, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be putting this behind the banner so that it kind of sticks out. So doesn't need to be perfect. We just want to show that we've got something back there. If you really don't want to make a bow, you don't have to. You can just twirl it behind. We'll show you that in a second. See, my bow's not even. I don't care. I'm good with that. But we're making a bow. So now I think we have all the pieces we need to assemble. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put, is everybody ready to move to assembly? Okay, we got a couple nods. All right, Lynn, you good? You can just nod.
Just about. I'm having trouble making a bow.
Okay, like I said, it does not have to be perfect or even close to it because we're going to cover up most of it.
I'm good now.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to take the flowers, the forget-me-nots, and we're going to turn them over, and we're going to put a bunch of dimensionals on the back there. They put 5. That's a lot, I think. These dimensionals, are strong and sturdy. I'm just going to put 2. That's me. You can put as many or as few as you want. I'm getting all these weird notifications. Put away. And once you get you take the backing off, and this just goes as if it is coming up right out of the middle of the other forget-me-nots at the bottom. And you can see that it'll peek out, which is cute. Love the way that it's watercolored on there. It just looks really nice. The next piece is to take your banner. We're going to flip that over, and this is where they used the tear and tape. So we're going to open up our tear and tape. And again, it's the really super thin, and you'll see that for the next card, it's why they did that. But for this one, we're just going to find the end, and we're just going to take, I don't know, 2 inches to put on the back. There we go. It just doesn't have to be the whole way because we're going to be using dimensionals on there as well. So I'm just going to put this down right in the middle. You see how I have that there? And then I'm going to peel the backing off. I know, this is hard. Always hard to do. It's really good when you have your a pokey tool or take your pick tool. I'm going to look for mine in a second. And this is where they took the bow and they just stuck it on the back. And you can put it right in the center or off to the side. But that is how they are securing the string. And you can see I have a long edge here because I didn't tie my bow very nicely, and I decided that was okay. I could trim it, or I could just leave it, or what I'm going to do, actually, I think, is loop it around. So now it looks like I have 3 loops. Look at that. Sometimes you can make lemonade out of lemons. Do something wrong. And then they put 2 dimensionals, 1 on each side. Wheel them up. And then once you have your dimensionals and your bow mess, whatever you've got there, that's going to go over the center of the flower, of the stems of the flower, I should say. And when you close the card, it just shows a little bit, but it leads you to open the card. And for this card, you could write on the inside here or at the top of the back. And there's my sample. Just want to make sure. Yep. This one, they did not put any of those pretty gems on. So this is the whole card. That's it. So very pretty, can be used for anything. I know my seniors are going to like these because I think it will speak to them. They'll think it's so fancy, right? Because it has the cutouts and the description on the back. So excited to give that to them. All right, is everybody good? Everybody happy? Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Let's move on to card number 2, and that's all we got. Just 2 cards. I'm telling you, it's the fastest and easiest class you'll ever have. Okay, so we have all of our pieces, and we are going to stamp on this lily pad. And you can use whichever one you want, but they used "You are capable of amazing things," which is always a nice sentiment. You want to make somebody feel good when they get that, right? You are capable of amazing things, because everyone is. It might be different, but you can see how it just fits nicely, almost as if it was designed for it. Like it was. You are capable of amazing things, or whatever you want. The other sentiments in that, working in a small space, smaller than it should be because I'm cluttered, but I'm just looking for my stamp set to see what the other things that would fit there. Certainly, or unforgettable does. I'm not sure about the third sentiment again, but regardless. Okay, everybody all stamped? Nope, still working on that. That's okay. Yep, take your time. No rush. Again, there is an extra, so if anything happens, you can always go to the other one. Okay, so I'm thinking we're okay to move on. If not, raise your hand. Okay, so let's go to the vellum. Now remember, we talked about the vellum on one side has the color, and on the other side, it is muted. Okay, we actually want the muted side up, because if you put the dark side up, this is what it looks like, which is fine, but you'll see that if you have the muted side up, you can kind of see that there are words on the piece. Okay, so we want to have the dark side down. So that means that we are going to put our adhesive on the dark side. And this is where they used the tear and tape. One of the reasons they did was because it's nice and thin, so it won't be seen. The other reason is that this is like a little pocket, so we want to make sure we have as much room as possible inside the pocket. There we go. Although this fit in nicely, but you could also, anytime you have a pocket, you can sneak in a little gift card if you wanted to. It was a nice presentation. Gift cards seem to be the gifts anytime I'm giving one, it seems, or a check, depending upon who it is. You would think I think I figured out I have 6 take your pick tools, and they are never where I want them when I need. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. I use my take your pick tool to take off the backing. It does usually make it easier. Usually I can catch a piece of it, peel it off. And then this is just going to go at the bottom of the front. When I say the front, I mean on the printed piece that we will attach to the front, but I got excited and I wanted to do the vellum. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Right, so I just put that on the bottom and it just gives it a little bit of texture. It holds it on nicely. And because the paper is colored, you really can't see the adhesive. That's one problem when we're working with vellum, that you can often see the adhesive. And this works nicely, number one, because it's colored, and number two, because it's this nice, thin, clear piece of adhesive that is on the sides. So once you have that, we are going to add this to the card front, but we're going to use dimensionals, which is always a nice touch. So it stands up a little bit. They used 5, and in this case, I'm going to use 5 as well. So that way it gives a little height on the edges and then also in the middle. Sometimes I see people use, 9 and 10 and 12. It just seems a little overboard. And we're just looking for a little tiny bit of lift. Just make sure your opening is at the bottom. I almost put mine on upside down here. And it leaves a little border. I'm getting a funny glare here. I'm sorry. It's taking me a moment to get this on. Oh, yeah. I'm having such trouble. Close enough. There we go. All right, so that's what that looks like. And then you can take your little lotus flower and slide it in. And there you go. And hopefully people will know to pull it out. If you want, you can leave it sticking out a little bit like that so that they know that there's some message in there. And then also on the inside, you can write your message. Now this card they did do, they used 5, oh, no, actually 2, 4, 7 of these little gems. So it really looks like water droplets, which is so nice. I'm putting all of my water droplets on I'm not putting it on what gets tucked under. That's just me. I'm not sure if that's what they did or not. I don't remember. I watched the video such a long time ago. But they varied the sizes because you have big and small. And they just put some water droplets all over the flower and the card as well. So they used an odd number by using 7, which is always nice. Can I do it again? And they put one at the base of each of the other flowers in the background. So there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it just slides in and out. Now I do think these are nice. They're great for like little note cards, right? You could even go without stamping anything on here and just slide it in. But if you take these and break them apart and use them differently, you can come up with some really pretty things. So let me, while you're finishing up, pop over to my slideshow because, it's fun to do a PowerPoint slideshow. And what I did is I found a whole bunch. I found 10 different projects, or at least 10. And so this was the first one. Now this one actually uses the bag that is in the new mini catalog, and I'm going to show you that. It is a in the catalog, it is showcased for Halloween. However, it is actually just a bag that can be used for anything. And I think that is what she had done. So let me see if I can spotlight this for a second. Huh. All right, well, I'll show you that later. Anyway, looks like she did it on the front of a bag and she used the twine to wrap around. Really cute, I thought. And she just stamped those flowers with the extra stamp set and cut them out and used them here. So that is the first one. So let's go to the next. Let's see if I can do that. Here we go. So this one, she used a fun fold and she's showing you both sides. So she stamped here with that flower that I was wondering what I would do with that. And I think it looks great in the background like this. And then she also stamped and then fussy cut them out. Now that's more than I would do, as you all know. I would never do that. But anyway, it's a fun card that is really just a gatefold card that is scored, that it folds instead of into itself, it kind of folds away. So not difficult to do, but fun to look at. All right, and so that is Chelsea Christensen. And this, I just thought this was great, right? So simple. She just cut a circle out of the big card front and she used the piece as it's designed. She put in happy birthday. This is from actually the circle set that we have. And she used that posy, really deep embossing folder in the background. And I just think that looks fabulous like that. So that was like the first one that I found. I was just like, oh, that's great. Okay, this is Hannah Bird. She likes to make her fun folds. And she did this so it's more like an easel card, kind of. So it looks pretty. Nicely done. Here's another one that uses she cut off the front, right? And then she glued it to a piece of coordinating cardstock, which looks like it is the turquoise. Oh, what is that? Tide. Tranquil Tide. No, not Tranquil Tide. That in color. Oh, that's bad that I can't remember. Okay, you get it. And I also like, see what she did with this ribbon. I don't think we still carry this ribbon. For those of you who still have it though, she cut it into a very thin strip this is a very wide ribbon. It's about 1.25 inches, I think, or at least 1 inch. And she cut it into a skinny strip. And I thought, oh, I never think to do that. I always say, oh, the ribbon's too fat. So anyway, this is Laura Lynn. Next, very simple. She just put it onto a card front and she wrote it there, right? Instead of making it with the vellum and dipping it in and all that. So. And here is Robin, and she used these. This one is the stitched. Somebody help me out here. This is it's not in a catalog. You can find it online only, but it's a collection of these radiating stitches, something like it. That's what it's called. It's called something like that. Anyway, so that's a cool look that I would not have thought of. And she colored in the flowers nicely. And then, of course, up here, she just cut the panels in half and was able to make 2 different cards out of it, right? And just did the background with the tile. Okay, next one. This is the scrapbook page I was telling you about. This is Rachel Tessman. And I just thought that this was great. There's a pocket over here that was made with the vellum. And then some panels where you could write. And she used the envelope even. So you could actually use that as an envelope if you wanted to, although she may have cut that open. I'm not sure. But I thought that was well done. Not so many people doing scrapbooking these days. Lynn and Sheila, are you still scrapbooking? No, not so much.
No, not that I don't have a lot of photos to do, but I just don't like to do it anymore.
I know.
That's all cards.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny how that happened? But we were all about the scrapbook pages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Here's another one. This is with the new dies. I can't show you. Okay. Well, I'll show you in a few minutes. I'll show you what those dies are, but they're nesting dies and they're really very cool and fun to work with. And then here's Angela McKay, and she had 3 different ones, which I love that the way that she used the octagons over here, and then just put the die cuts and did some extra stamping just onto another card base and made new cards out of them. So, all right, so that's that. So those were those fun projects. And so I wanted just to show you those 2 things before I go on. This is the, oops, up here, nested essential dies. So it comes with 3 different layers, at least. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 layers on each of them. So that makes it really fun to be able to use on a card, and you can always have them that, and that works out. And then the bags that I was talking about, which all of you will get to see this weekend. Very excited. I've been working on little Halloween treats, but here we go. They're just these little bags, and they hold more than you would think. Perfect for like putting a gift card and maybe some candy in. Makes a great presentation. So really cute. And yes, it does come with the Halloween, but it doesn't have to be used for Halloween. And Beth, we are definitely doing, well, we could do Halloween or Christmas with this, depending upon what we want to put inside. So Beth and I do lots of teacher gifts. So it's always fun to have something new to work with. So, all right. Well, that is all that I had for today. Unbelievably, I think I got off easy on that one. It was so, it was just so easy to make the cards, but also to find really pretty projects. Sometimes I struggle with projects that I like that people make out of the kit elements, but this time, not at all. It was really easy to do. So anybody have any questions or anything? All right. Well, we have class this weekend. We're going to have lots of fun. Got lots of people coming. Should be exciting. And then my Christmas card class, I think maybe you've all seen the retraction on that, but this month it is going to be on Tuesday, the 26th. I made a mistake. I put it as Monday. After this month, though, it will be on the last Monday of the month. And just a little sneak peek for you guys. I'm developing a class of 20 cards, 10 designs, 2 of each, to be done like the Zoom class, but instead of Zoom, I'm going to be doing a video for it, so that this can be a standalone kit, if you will, that people can purchase. It will be about $50, but that's still $2.50 a card, which is what all the classes are. Plus, you're going to get some extras in there because we'll be using the same elements, and you'll use your own stamps for the sentiments, but I'm going to make a recommendation. I'm going to do all the same. I'm going to use the sentiments from one set, so that if you're interested, if you don't already have it, you could order it, but it might be one that you already have. So just look for that. I'll have more details on that next month, but that is what I'm working on for you guys. So should be very exciting. And that's for all the people who can't come to the in-person holiday card class. I just could not stop. There are just too many great holiday card ideas out there. Got to get them out there. So
Good problem to have.
yeah, right. It's just so many, but some, you really can't do virtually because you need too many stamps. But we have so many beautiful designer series papers that we have to make cards with them. We can't let them go to waste. So that is what I have, and I will see all of you very soon. And those of you watching on replay, thank you for joining, and we'll see you the next time. Take care,
Awesome. Thank you.
everyone. Bye.